Hey everyone, it's Maze back today with another MMO news video, and today I want to take a look at the Ashes of Creation combat showcase from yesterday's livestream. Steven from Ashes of Creation, along with two programmers and one of the game's lead designers, Mr. Trad, did a live stream showcasing two things in particular. The first being the basic melee attacks with both heavy weapons and daggers, and the UI for the floating text combat. Steven stated both of these were widely asked for by the community, and that the last combat showcase was nearly a year ago. So needless to say, I'm very excited to dive into this and show you the update. And actually it's not even an update to the combat system, but instead a whole new combat system they created due to player feedback. Steven immediately stated how he wanted to hold off originally on the combat system to show it until it was done. And that makes sense since they basically scrapped the old one for this new one, but as time passed, he wanted something to show the community the progress that they've been making and to break it up into showcase components, instead now showing off each aspect of the system. That way they can again get more player feedback. So what is this new combat system? The early combat system was heavily a root-based system, meaning that when you swing, your character will be rooted into place to give weapons that agency of weight and power. It allows players just kind of feel those hard attacks. And as players went through the alpha, it became clear that most wanted a more action-feeling style of combat as opposed to the root type of system. They wanted to have that weight and force put behind weapon, just not to the current state that the game had at that time. And what we see in the showcase is a much more handcrafted system that balances the basic attacks with root motion and then split body, allowing players a more free form of movement while still respecting the weight of certain weapon groups. Root motion again locks us into place or sticking us when we make attacks, and then flowing into split body to allow more fast-paced feel and more control during combat. Before we get into the combat, I want to say how nice it is to see an integrated environment. Instead of packs of mobs always there to see, you get to wander around feeling safe until you come up along an enemy. The idea of not just seeing a pack of 7 mobs like most MMOs is neat and rather refreshing. It gives a mix of immersion along with the sense of danger during exploration. And now to the combat. We can see here the nice flow of motion and animations while equipped with the heavy weapons. Even the animations of the enemies are nice, showing the larger rock creatures falling apart when defeated and the smaller ones breaking into pieces. And they decided to look at it as non-binary, instead looking at everything as modular pieces and adjusting and playing with the balance between root and split motion until agency and combat feels good. With the heavy weapons here, you can clearly see the transition, allowing heavy weapons to feel that weight and still maintain a faster paced combat system than what was previously shown in the Alpha 1. The devs stated the idea here was to start with the two extremes of melee combat, the heavy two-handed weapons and daggers. This allowed them to rebuild the system at both ends at once, and once they knew how they wanted heavy combat and dagger combat to feel, they're now able to use that as a benchmark to get the right agency for the various weapon styles in between the two. And then with the light weapons, as we expected, daggers provide a faster combat system with higher player agency. Daggers never slow the player down, allowing for a dashing type of combat style. There is no transition from root to split body, instead remaining in split body while transitioning into the dagger combat animations and then back again. And personally for me, after watching the showcase and remembering watching the live streams, I mostly watched Asmongold while he was playing during Alpha 1, this new combat system seems much better. The combat in Alpha 1 looked kind of clunky, and I assume that was because of the focus that they had on the root motion, and they weren't really done finalizing the combat. Now though, this new system looks amazing. With combat out of the way, we were shown the floating text UI, and as you see in the video, damage to the player floats to the left, and damage to the mobs floats to the right. And you can adjust the size and color of floating text, you can bold it, and also add damage icons so you know what ability is causing certain types of damage. Experience is clearly visible and is away from the hovering text and located near the bottom of the screen so you can easily see that, as well as crits will appear above the combat text at the top of the screen. And seeing this level of detail and then the ability for players to tweak and customize it the way they want looks and feels really good. This allows anyone to set up their UI with what most makes them feel comfortable or what they are most used to in their other favorite MMOs. So a full new combat system based on ideas from player feedback, showcasing it so they can get more feedback to help plan their direction Yeah, I'm excited for this game, and my excitement grows the more that I see from Steven and the rest of the team. He and the other developers then wrapped up the showcase by giving us a teaser of what's next. They feel that currently the heavy melee combat is at a place that they want to call it nearly complete. They all feel that this is the most they want to compromise agency for weight and impact. They talked briefly about how this combat system will work for range and ultimate attacks, even stating that ultimate attacks may just remove all limiters and let the animations department craft their own separate animations for that. They show us a little tease of some animations and ground effect, and we get our first look at the Pyre Mail, I believe it's called the Pyre Mail, live in action in the game. The camera shake and radial blur will be integrated more and more to maximize visuals to better sell the weight and power behind attacks. And Steven closes out the showcase discussing how hard they are working and reworking the class and character kits. Nothing is set in stone for any class yet, but they have a base to add to or take away from throughout the various alphas until they finally feel that each class is what they want it to be. And I know Ashes of Creation has a while before release, but with Alpha 2 coming up soon, I'm excited to once again see the streamers jump back into the world, and for now we just have to wait. So hope you guys enjoy. Remember, like and sub as I have my watch time. I'm just grinding out those subs now. So take care all, and I see you again in the next video.